Okay, this is the binomial sheet on the ESP4 Excel workbook, and you can see that this area right here on columns A and B is where you can get probabilities, means, standard deviation, and variances on a binomial distribution, plus it will graph the histogram of the binomial distribution right here. So for this particular problem, I have 10 trials, and I'm looking for exactly 5 successes. If I wanted at least 5, I would do something like 5 to 10 here, but we'll just do exactly 5. And this is, let's say, a coin, which is a 50-50 chance of whether it lands heads or tails, and that's why the p is 0.5. And it computes the probability for you, the expected value, which is the mean, the standard deviation, the variance, and it also answers the question here of whether it's approximately normal or not. Now looking down here at the binomial distribution, the histogram of the binomial distribution, each probability is graphed on the left hand side. Like for example, the probability of getting exactly 5 is 0.246, and right here is 5, and that height goes up to, you can see, just under 0.25, so it goes up to this 0.246 right here. Now the previous section of the outline shows how to use functions in Excel to get these probabilities. But what I'm going to show here is how to get this histogram. So on a separate sheet, what I did here was I set this up similar to the binomial sheet, where I have the number of trials, the lower number of successes, the upper number of successes, and the probability right here. Now, for me to get the histogram, I have to get the probability of every single value up to the total number of trials. So I need 0 through 10 to be here. So I just type those in, or if you, a shortcut of doing that is to highlight a couple and then drag and pull down, and it will just continue to make those values. But I only need 0 to 10 because I can say I have 10 trials. Then in each one of these slots, I put in this function equals binomial or binom dot dist, then open parentheses, and right here is the number of successes I'm looking for, which is 0 right here on this first slot. Then the B4, I put the dollar signs around that to make it an absolute so it locks in. So the B4 is your number of trials, and then your B7 is your probability, and the 0 here says I want it for that specific value, not cumulatively. So when I hit enter, I get that probability of 0 successes on 10 events that have a probability of 0.5. Once I got that 1, since these are absolutes and the A is free to travel on down, since it's not an absolute, it doesn't have the dollar sign, then when I pull this down, I'll get all the probabilities in there. Now I make a column graph on this, and the way I do that is I highlight this, just this column with the probabilities, and then I insert a column graph, which I believe is right here. And let's see, let's do that, and there's the column graph. Now the only thing, this doesn't look like a histogram, but we can change that if we right mouse click on any bar and then do format data series. Then that allows you over here to reduce the gap width down to 0 and gives you that histogram look. And that's what we have on the binomial sheet. And hopefully with this video you'll be able to make your own histogram.